The first warning came from a small mining station near the edge of human space. The station stopped sending messages. At first, people thought there was a power failure. Then they thought pirates had attacked. No one expected the truth. A rescue ship arrived 3 days later. The station was silent. Every light was still on. The machines were working. The doors were open, but there was no living person inside. The rescue team walked carefully through the long metal halls. They found broken tools, damaged walls, and strange footprints covered in dried blood. Some blood belonged to humans. Some did not. Captain Nora looked at the marks on the floor. They were deep claw prints. They hunted them, she said quietly. One of the soldiers nodded. But something hunted them back. They followed the trail until they reached the main storage room. The room was filled with alien bodies. There were dozens of them. Some still held strange weapons. Others looked as if they had tried to run. None had escaped. Only one human body was found there, an old security guard named Daniel. His empty rifle lay beside him. His hand still held a combat knife. The medical officers stayed at the scene. One man did this. Captain Nora shook her head. No. She pointed toward another hallway. There was more than one fight. The rescue team searched every corner of the station. Everywhere they looked, they found signs of battle. Humans had fought until their last breath. The aliens had expected easy prey. Instead, they had entered a place where every worker, every engineer, every mechanic, and every cook had refused to surrender. The station had fallen, but the hunters had paid for every single step. Far away, on the alien command ship, the survivors gave their report. Their leader was Cold High Hunter Kraz. His species had conquered hundreds of worlds. Every race they met had surrendered after seeing their war fleets. Weak races obeyed. Strong races were broken. That was a natural order. Kraz listened silently. "The humans are dead?" he asked. "Yes." "And the station?" "Captured." Kraz smiled. "Then why do you all look afraid?" The officer hesitated. "My lord, we lost almost 400 warriors." The room became quiet. Kraz slowly stood. 400 against miners. "Yes." "How many human soldiers?" "There were none." Kraz frowned. "No soldiers. Only workers." Another officer stepped forward. "My lord, they used everything as weapons. Cutting tools, pipes, fire, explosives, even mining machines." Kraz laughed. "You feared desperate animals." "No, my lord." The officer lowered his head. "We fear what happens when real human soldiers arrive." Kraz stopped laughing. For the first time, doubt entered his mind. Still, he believed humans would fall like every other race. He ordered the invasion to continue. Across human space, emergency messages spread from planet to planet. The words were simple. Unknown hostile species. Mining station 12 destroyed. Heavy casualties. Prepare for war. People everywhere watched the news. Families hugged each other. Factories changed from making civilian machines to building tanks, ships, and weapons. Old soldiers returned to service. Young men and women volunteered by the millions. Humanity had seen war before. No one wanted another one. But if war had come, they would finish it. On Earth, Admiral Sarah Mitchell entered the Defense Council. The room was filled with military leaders from many nations. No one argued. No one cared about politics anymore. Human survival came first. Sarah looked at the large map floating above the table. "The enemy believes we are weak." One general nodded. "They attacked workers. They believed workers would run." Sarah looked around the room. "They have already made their first mistake." An old commander smiled. "And their second." Sarah answered without emotion. "They attacked humans." Within weeks, the alien fleets crossed into another human system. This time they found something different. Instead of frightened miners, they faced warships waiting in perfect formation. Thousands of human ships stood together. Large battleships, fast destroyers, heavy carriers, missile cruisers, supply ships, medical ships. Every vessel had one purpose: stop the invasion. High Hunter Kraz looked at the human fleet through his command screen. "So," he smiled confidently, "now we hunt warriors." The first shots crossed the darkness of space. Bright beams and missiles filled the empty sky. Explosions lit the stars. Human ships moved in organized groups. Alien ships rushed forward with confidence. The battle lasted 6 hours. When it ended, space was filled with burning wreckage. Human losses were heavy. Alien losses were worse. Kraz watched another report arrive. His hands tightened. They fought after losing half their fleet. Yes. They attacked even while burning. Yes. They rammed our command cruisers. Yes. He slammed his fist onto the control table. What kind of species does this? No one answered, because no one knew. Back on Earth, Admiral Sarah received a battle report. One officer smiled. We won. Sarah looked at the long list of dead. No, she said quietly. We survived. Then she looked toward the stars. And next time, we make sure they don't. It began with a simple mistake. The alien hunters believed Earth was another weak world filled with soft creatures that could be captured for sport. Their empire had explored hundreds of planets, and every time they found intelligent life, the story was the same. The strongest species became rulers. The weakest became workers or prey. They had never met a race that could survive against impossible odds. When they looked at humans through their scanners, they laughed. Humans had no claws, no thick scales, no poison, and no natural armor. They seemed slow, fragile, and easy to kill. The Hunting Council voted without hesitation. Earth would become their newest hunting ground. They expected an easy victory. Instead, they discovered why the galaxy should never judge a predator by its appearance. The first ships entered Earth's orbit during the night. They were silent and hidden behind advanced cloaking systems. Small hunting teams landed deep inside forests, deserts, and mountains. Their mission was simple. Capture humans alive, study them, then begin the great hunt. The hunters wore armor that could stop laser weapons. Their helmets allowed them to see heat, movement, and heartbeat. Against every other species, this technology made them unstoppable. The first team landed in a thick forest. They detected a single human nearby. Their leader smiled behind his mask. One target, he said. Easy capture. The human was an old man carrying a backpack and a walking stick. He was hiking alone. He never saw the hunters until they stepped onto the trail. The alien leader activated his translator. You belong to us now. The old man looked confused. What movie are you people filming? He asked. The hunters rushed forward. The old man turned and ran. The hunters laughed. Their scanners showed every heartbeat. Escape was impossible. Then the ground exploded beneath them. Hidden traps filled with sharpened wooden spikes burst from the earth. 2 hunters died instantly. The others jumped away in surprise. The old man had not built those traps. They belonged to local wildlife researchers who used harmless warning pits covered with branches to stop illegal poachers. The hunters had no idea. As they recovered, loud growls echoed through the forest. A massive bear appeared. The alien leader laughed again. Primitive animal. The bear attacked without fear. The hunters killed it quickly, but the noise echoed for miles. Within minutes, rescue helicopters appeared overhead after receiving reports of explosions. The hunters suddenly faced armed humans instead of a helpless old man. The mission was no longer secret. The invasion had begun. News spread across Earth within hours. Unknown attackers had landed. Governments argued over who they were. Military forces rushed toward every landing site. The hunters welcomed the challenge. For centuries they had hunted warriors across the stars. They expected another easy campaign. The first battle happened in the desert. Alien scouts watched a human convoy moving across open ground. Perfect hunting conditions. They attacked from the hills. Their plasma weapons destroyed the first vehicles instantly. The convoy stopped. The hunters waited for panic. Instead, the surviving humans quickly spread out, took cover, and returned fire. Bullets bounced harmlessly off alien armor. The hunters smiled. Then explosions surrounded them. The convoy had been carrying artillery spotters. Within minutes, heavy shells rained across the hills. The aliens had powerful armor. They did not have armor built to survive endless explosions. The ground itself became their enemy. One hunter lost both legs. Another disappeared beneath collapsing rocks. The survivors retreated. They had won the firefight. They had lost the battlefield. Back aboard their flagship, commanders studied recordings. Humans adapted too quickly. They refused to fight by expected rules. Every mistake became a lesson. Every defeat became experience. The hunting council changed its strategy. Instead of attacking soldiers, they would hunt civilians. Fear always broke resistance. It had worked on countless worlds. Small alien teams entered cities. They kidnapped families, destroyed homes, broadcast messages demanding surrender. Humanity answered differently. Millions volunteered for military service. Retired soldiers returned. Hunters became the hunted. Every street became dangerous. Every building could hide resistance fighters. Factories stopped making civilian products. Instead, they built weapons day and night. Entire nations worked together. Old enemies became allies. People who had argued for generations now stood side by side. The alien empire had expected division. Instead, they created unity. Weeks passed. The hunters kept winning small battles, but their losses grew every day. Human engineers recovered damaged alien equipment. Scientists worked without sleep. Captured technology was studied around the clock. Within months, humans learned how alien shields worked. They discovered weak points. New weapons were designed. Simple bullets became armor-piercing rounds. Missiles exploded with carefully timed bursts that overloaded shield generators. The advantage slowly disappeared. An alien captain watched one of his strongest warriors fall to a human sniper. The captain stared in disbelief. Impossible. Humans had improved too quickly. The sniper fired again. Another hunter fell. The captain finally understood. Humans learned during war faster than any species he had ever faced. That terrified him. Far away, another hunting group entered frozen mountains. Their scanners found only a few human research stations. Easy targets. The hunters attacked at sunrise. Scientists escaped into the snow. The aliens followed confidently. Hours later, the weather changed. A blizzard swallowed everything. Human researchers knew every path. The hunters knew none. Their scanners became useless in freezing winds. One by one, they vanished into deep snow. Some froze. Others fell into hidden cracks beneath the ice. The humans never fired another shot. Nature finished the battle. Earth itself fought beside its people. The hunting council grew angry. Destroy their cities. Orbital weapons fired from space. Huge explosions lit the night sky. Entire neighborhoods disappeared. The losses were terrible. But instead of surrendering, humanity became even more determined. Across every nation, people repeated the same words. They can destroy our homes. They cannot destroy us. Underground factories appeared. Hidden bunkers produced tanks, aircraft, drones, and missiles. Civilian programmers became military experts. Farmers supplied armies. Teachers trained volunteers. Doctors worked until exhaustion. No one stopped. Children grew up hearing stories about the invasion. They dreamed not of escape but of victory. The aliens had never seen such determination. Another mistake came when the hunters captured several human soldiers. Interrogation began. The prisoners refused to answer questions. Instead, they joked with their captors. One smiled. "You think this is bad? You should meet our Marines." The translator struggled to understand sarcasm. The hunters thought it was confidence. Then alarms sounded. Human commandos had tracked the prisoners. They attacked the base at night. Explosions destroyed power systems. Smoke filled every hallway. Captured soldiers escaped and joined the attack. By sunrise, every hunter inside the base was dead. The commandos left without celebrating. For them, it was another mission. For the alien empire, it became another warning. Earth was not behaving like conquered worlds. It behaved like a giant trap. Months became years. The war spread into space. Human engineers built their first ships using captured alien drives. They were crude, ugly, slow compared to enemy vessels. But humans improved every design. Every battle taught something new. Soon Earth launched entire fleets. Alien admirals expected easy victories. Instead, human captains fought creatively. If weapons failed, they rammed enemy ships. If engines were damaged, they turned disabled ships into giant bombs. If surrounded, they attacked the strongest enemy first. No prediction model worked. Human decisions seemed completely unpredictable. One alien officer finally understood. They don't fear losing. Another officer answered quietly, "No, they fear losing each other." That difference changed everything. Human crews sacrificed themselves to save civilians. Parents stayed behind so children could escape. Pilots crashed into enemy carriers rather than let invasion forces reach Earth. The Empire calculated war like mathematics. Humans fought with emotion. Equations could not predict love, or hope, or revenge. During one famous battle, an alien fleet surrounded Earth's orbital defenses. Victory seemed certain. Then thousands of civilian ships appeared. Mining vessels, cargo transports, fishing boats, private spacecraft. None were designed for combat. All joined anyway. They blocked enemy fire, transported supplies, rescued survivors. Some rammed alien cruisers. The fleet commander watched in disbelief. Even civilians fought. His own empire could never understand such behavior. Slowly the balance changed. Human factories produced more ships than expected. Artificial intelligence helped organize defenses. Medical advances returned wounded soldiers to battle faster. New alloys resisted plasma weapons. New drones hunted enemy scouts. Every advantage the hunters once possessed disappeared. Then humanity took the war beyond Earth. The first human fleet entered alien territory. The hunters finally experienced something new. Fear. Colonies that had watched Earth burn now saw human warships in their skies. Many expected revenge. Instead, humans offered surrender. Leave the war. Free every enslaved species. Help end the empire. Some worlds accepted immediately. Others resisted. Those battles were short. Human commanders targeted military bases instead of cities whenever possible. Many alien civilians were shocked. The species they had hunted showed more mercy than the empire itself. Rebellion spread. Old enemies joined humans. The empire began collapsing from within. The hunting council gathered for one final meeting. Reports covered every war. Lost fleets. Destroyed armies. Rebellions. Economic collapse. Millions dead. One elder finally whispered the truth. "We thought they were prey." Silence filled the room. Another elder answered, "No, we were." Their final order reached every surviving fleet. Retreat. Save whoever remained. But retreat came too late. Human alliances surrounded their capital system. The last battle lasted 3 days. It became one of the largest conflicts in galactic history. Ships filled the stars. Explosions looked like new suns. The Empire's greatest warriors fought with desperate courage. Human forces answered with endless determination. When the smoke cleared, the hunting fleet no longer existed. Its banners drifted silently through space. The Empire surrendered. Representatives from hundreds of liberated worlds gathered for peace talks. Human leaders entered without crowns or golden armor. Simple uniforms, tired faces. Years of war showed in their eyes. The alien delegates expected demands for revenge. Instead, the human commanders spoke calmly. This war began because he believed strength gave you the right to hunt others. He looked around the room. That belief ends today. The Empire accepted every condition. Slavery ended. Hunting intelligent species became the greatest crime under new galactic law. Every surviving civilization signed the agreement. Schools across the galaxy began teaching children about Earth, not as a warning about dangerous humans, but as a lesson about judging others by appearance. Years later, a young alien student visited Earth. He asked an old human veteran a simple question. "Were you always the strongest species?" The old soldier laughed. "No, we just refused to quit." The student looked confused, but the hunters said humans were weak. The veteran nodded. "We are. We get tired. We get hurt. We make mistakes. We lose people we love." The student frowned. "Then how did you win?" The old man looked toward the sunset before answering. "Because strength isn't about never falling. It's about standing up one more time than your enemy expects." The student wrote every word into his notebook. As he left, he passed a memorial built after the war. Thousands of names covered the stone. Soldiers, doctors, engineers, farmers, teachers, children. No statue showed giant heroes crushing enemies. Only ordinary people helping one another. An alien guide quietly explained the monument. "These are the humans who saved not only their own world, but ours as well." Visitors from every corner of the galaxy stopped there each year. Some cried, some remained silent, all left with the same understanding. The hunters had scanned human bodies. They measured muscles, bones, speed, reaction time. They counted weapons, ships, numbers, but they never measured the one thing that mattered most, the human spirit. Generations later, the old empire existed only in history books. Its hunting arenas became museums. Its weapons rested behind glass. Children walked through the empty halls asking impossible questions. Why would anyone hunt another, thinking they were less valuable? Teachers answered with quiet voices, because pride can blind even the strongest. Earth became one of the founding worlds of a peaceful alliance. Humans explored space not to conquer but to discover. Wherever they found frightened civilizations, they offered friendship first. Many aliens found that strange. Humans simply smiled. They remembered what happened when someone arrived offering only fear. Among soldiers throughout the galaxy, one saying became famous. New recruits repeated it before every mission. It reminded them never to underestimate an opponent, never to mistake kindness for weakness, never to believe appearances told the whole story. The saying was carved onto ships, training academies, and memorial walls. It was short, simple, impossible to forget. They saw humans as prey. We saw them dead.